Members of the armed forces are among the federal workers still required to work through the shutdown without pay. Organizers of the Coast Guard Festival in Grand Haven are stepping up to ensure that local Coast Guard families can still put food on the table. News 8's Duncan McLean is at the site of a food drive happening right now. And Duncan, what have you seen so far?
So we're live outside of the Coast Guard station here in Grand Haven, that branch of the military especially beloved in this community. So they're coming together this week for a number of different food and donation drives to help the 73 local Coast Guard families to weather this shutdown with the possibility of missing a paycheck later this week. This all as the federal government tries to come up with an appropriate solution to get members of the military paid on Wednesday. Now, President Trump did post on social media over the weekend that he's directed the Department of Defense to use, quote, all available funds to help pay the 1.2 million active U.S. military service members what they're owed on October 15th. Reportedly, that funding will come from research and development money, the Pentagon saying they've identified $8 billion in unobligated funding. There are questions, of course, about the legality and practical process of using that money to pay active service members that the government is exploring. The issue here in Grand Haven is it's unclear at the moment if that applies to the Coast Guard. It's the only branch of the U.S. military that's run out of the Department of Homeland Security during peacetime. So they're collecting donations at a couple places over the course of the week to help support those families. The center of it today is the Coast Guard Festival office downtown. They're accepting donations from 10 to 3 throughout the week, both monetary and non-perishable food items. They say if you're going to drop off a check to make it out to CPOA Grand Haven, because they are not technically allowed to give the money directly to the Coast Guard. They have to work through that organization to make sure it gets where it's going to go. They're going to use it to fund some food pantries and other essential items for these families as they just try to make it through what could be 1 or 2 pay periods without a paycheck, again, pending what happens at the federal level there. That collection runs throughout the week. Here at the station, they're also going to be doing their own collections starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The same thing here, non-perishable food items and monetary donations. There are also a couple of other businesses that are going to be donating portions of their sales at the end of this week to those local Coast Guard families. So lots of support here in Grand Haven amid quite a bit of uncertainty for those 73 families here that might not get paid. Our coverage of these efforts will continue this evening. We talked with the Coast Guard Festival about their efforts specifically so far. For now, live in Grand Haven, Duncan McLean, News 8.